At the beginning of the world, the earth, Gaia, and the sky, Uranus, gave life to many powerful creatures. Among the most fearsome were the Hecatoncheires and the Titans. The Titans, 12 in all, were huge and powerful gods. But even they paled in comparison to their 50-headed, 100-armed brethren. The Hecatoncheires, 3 giants with 100 arms and 50 heads, were true monsters. Despite being children of Gaia and Uranus, their hideous appearance and immense power frightened their father. Fearing the potential of these beings, he locked them in Tartarus, the deepest place in the underworld, where they were chained and forgotten. But the fate of the giants would change when Cronus, the youngest of the Titans, rebelled against his father. In his ambition for power, Cronus castrated Uranus and became the new ruler of the cosmos. Gaia, who longed for the freedom of her children, asked Cronus to free her brothers from Tartarus. However, although Cronus agreed to free the Titans, he decided to leave the hideous beasts imprisoned. Cronus, like his father Uranus, feared the power of the Hecatoncheires. Despite their brotherly relationship, Cronus could not overcome his fear of these monstrous beings. Thus, they remained in Tartarus, chained and forgotten once again. The chains of the heinous giants became a symbol of their tragedy. Despite their immense power, they were doomed to remain in the shadows, marginalized and feared even by their brothers. But Gaia, Mother Earth, did not remain in the shadows, and extremely concerned and distressed by the cruel fate of her children and furious at the injustice of Uranus, she began to hatch a plan of revenge that would set in motion a war that would change the destiny of the cosmos. The age of the gods was about to begin. The Titanomachy, the cataclysmic confrontation between the gods of Olympus and the Titans, began like a thunderclap that echoed through the cosmos. The gods, for all their bravery and prowess, were losing. The Titans, with their primordial force, seemed unstoppable, their relentless advance threatening to sweep away the gods and retake control of the cosmos. It was at this moment of despair that Prometheus approached the father of Olympus. With words of wisdom and conviction, he told him of the power locked in the depths of Tartarus, where the Hecatoncheires and Cyclops remained chained by their atrocious monstrosity. He urged him to free these powerful allies, despite the difficulties and dangers involved. To free these prisoners, Zeus would have to face Camp, the guardian of Tartarus, a terrifying creature, half woman, half dragon. The brave god descended into the dark abyss determined to face the beast, to win the battle that threatened to defeat him. In the shadows of Tartarus, the fight between Zeus and Camp was an epic confrontation. The guardian, with its scaly body and sharp claws, pounced on the god with a deafening roar. The mighty god, with his fists, fought with all his might, each blow reverberating through the depths of Tartarus. Finally, with a last effort of defiance, Zeus launched a deadly blow against Camp. The creature howled as it collapsed, thus the guardian of the abyss fell. With the woman defeated, he released the Hecatoncheires and the Cyclops. These powerful creatures, grateful for their freedom, joined the fight against the Titans. With their help, the tide of battle began to turn. Amidst the chaos of war, 3 figures rose above all others: Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, the 3 most powerful sons of Cronus. United, they presented a unified front against the primeval ones. But even their combined strength seemed insufficient against the ancestral power of their enemies. It was then that the Tartarus monsters entered the scene, their titanic presence on the battlefield changing the entire course of the war. The Titans' forces were paralyzed when they saw these giants emerge from the darkness of Tartarus. Briareus, Cottus, and Gyges, each with 100 arms and 50 heads, joined the battle. It was a terrifying and imposing sight. The monstrosities, now loyal allies of the gods, entered the fray with uncontainable fury. The unleashed fury of the Hecatoncheires was at once a terrible and glorious spectacle. Each, fiercely armed with 100 arms strong as towers, rose against the Titans. Whole mountains were torn from the earth and hurled into the sky, hiding the sun and casting the world into shadow. The Titans, who had ruled with an iron fist, were now crushed under the weight of the rocks and mountains hurled by the hulking beasts. The battlefield became a chaos of earth, fire, and shadows. The monstrous terrors, like a storm of vengeance and fury, advanced tirelessly. Briareus, with his gaze fixed on the Titans, hurled stones so large that they seemed to rain down from the sky, each one shattering the ranks of his adversaries. Cottus and Gyges, brothers in arms, joined his side, their 100 hands hurling mountains that buried the Titans in a tomb of rocks and earth. The heavens burst into flames and the earth trembled as the Hecatoncheires fought. Every crash, every roar, every mountain hurled was a proclamation of their power and their wrath. The forces of the Titans, once indomitable, were being overwhelmed and crushed under the indomitable might of the mighty beasts of Tartarus. Finally, as the last mountain fell and the last roar faded, the colossi rose victorious. The Titans were defeated, buried beneath the very mountains they had once ruled. From that day on, the echoes of their fury and victory would echo through the cosmos. They had shown unimaginable strength and courage, which left the world trembling at their sheer awesomeness, strength, and bravery. The gods of Olympus, grateful for their bravery, offered them a place of honor. The brothers, however, chose to return to the depths of Tartarus. Not to be chained, but to watch over the defeated Titans where they would establish their dominion. From the shadows of the underworld, they would watch over the balance of the cosmos, supporting the rule of Zeus as his loyal lackeys. Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, for their part, divided the universe among themselves, establishing order in the world among the gods. Time later, when everything seemed to be in complete calm, a terrible and dark creature would put at risk the Olympians and above all the government of the father of the gods. Typhon, son of Gaia and Tartarus, became the greatest threat that the kingdom of Zeus faced after the Titanomachy. With a height that reached for the stars and eyes that shot flames, Typhon was the embodiment of destruction. His body was covered with wings, and instead of a head, he had 100 snake heads that hissed and spewed venom. He was the last challenge the gods had to face to secure their great dominion over the cosmos. The gods of Olympus fought Typhon, but found themselves at a disadvantage, for the monster was too powerful, even for them. When Zeus engaged Typhon in battle, the monster succeeded in disarming the god and tore off his sinews, leaving him immobilized. However, the god, though wounded, did not give up. Aware that he needed help, he once again called upon the monstrous 100-armed creatures that had been crucial in the defeat of the Titans. The giants answered Zeus' call. They appeared in battle, their 100 arms ready to fight. Despite Typhon's power and strength, the terrible beasts were not daunted. Remembering their battle against the Titans, they lashed out at Typhon with all their might. With their 100 arms, the sinister beasts hurled huge rocks at the demon. The giants with their 100 arms became a storm of stones, a rain of rocks that seemed to have no end. Each blow from the Tartarus monsters sent shock waves across the battlefield, and the rocks they hurled struck their enemy with devastating force. While the Hecatoncheires held Typhon at bay, Hermes and Pan stealthily retrieved the sinews and returned them to him, restoring his mobility and power. Recovered, the king of Olympus joined the fight once again. With his thunderbolt, the weapon the Cyclops had forged for him, he struck Typhon huge, and the giants continued their rain of rocks. Together, Zeus and the Hecatoncheires succeeded in overwhelming the dark enemy beast. The monster was defeated, and its threat was eliminated. Thanks to the bravery and power of his lackeys, he managed to keep his kingdom safe. But the gods' glory and supremacy were not always free of challenges, for years later the gods wished to dethrone him. The gods, in their lust for power, had plotted a coup to dethrone the impious king. They imprisoned him with chains made by Hephaestus himself, so strong that not even the king of the gods could break them. They planned to share his power and reign together in his place. The god, in his prison, was powerless, unable to free himself or to call his allies to his aid. In this hour of need, it was the sea nymph Thetis who intervened. She, aware of the betrayal and the imminent fall of Zeus, decided to seek help in the most unlikely place. Thetis descended into the depths of Tartarus and summoned Briareus, the Hecatoncheires who had fought alongside the gods during the Titanomachy. Briareus, answering the call, ascended from Tartarus and confronted the rebellious gods on Olympus. His appearance was enough to stop the conspirators. Images of the war against the Titans returned to the minds of the gods, reminding them of the terrible strength of this 100-armed giant. With speed and strength, Briareus freed Zeus from his chains. His loyalty and power proved too much for the rebels, who recoiled from the presence of the monstrous giant. With the king of the gods freed and Briareus at his side, the conspiring gods had no choice but to surrender and swear their allegiance to Zeus once again.